Hey guys, this is for the record not a sponsored video. Of course, if you look at my number of subscribers, I don't think that'll be a surprise to you. Nor do I actually list any brands here because I don't know what brands I'm using. I'm just here to talk about the pin pressure, not pin pressure, the pin sensitivity here. So as you can see, I have two different brushes here. I have my normal brush and I have my new brush. The new brush has, I think, 4,000 something or other pressure levels, and I have no idea how much the normal one does. And I'm mostly making this video because I just thought it'd be interesting to show off the differences between the two, as I'm also realizing that it's kind of funny how when you get used to something, you don't always realize that it's not better than doing something new. Like, I understand logically from looking at this video that, yeah, okay, my new pen definitely works better. Clearly, this is an improvement. I am doing much better with this new pen. Mentally, I am not wrapping my head around it. I don't like the way it slides across the screen, except that it's not actually having any issues sliding across the screen. I probably just need to get one of those, those nice screen protectors that have the texture on them. I think if I did that alone, I would probably get over it. But I still am having this issue of where I don't want to change which brush I'm using, which pen I'm using. I just want to draw with the pen I always have, but I want the new quality without the weird change in texture. And that's a little silly. I'm a little bit of a silly person, I know this, but this is probably a very universal feeling amongst anyone who's creating. Felt like that when I was getting used to my new computer. I feel like that when I get used to anything new, pretty much. Just like, this isn't what I'm used to. I need to go back to my old thing, except no, I don't. This is easier, this is better. And I am someone who is very prone to doing things the hard way because it's something I'm more used to and more comfortable with. But, if you never get out of your comfort zone, you're never going to figure out that something could have been better and you could have had an improvement in something. And I think that's something interesting to think about, especially in regards to art or writing or any art form, really, or programming. Actually, this is quite relevant to programming because I have this bad habit in programming too, where I'll be, trying to do something in my games, and instead of learning the concepts like resources specifically have been one of my hard points. Uh, I lost my train of thought. Well, I needed to learn resources, and if I didn't learn resources, I was going to have a much, much harder job making my games, as you can imagine. And if you don't know what a resource is, it basically is something that lets you save one code that you use for everything else. What, not for everything else, for anything else you want in the game. Like you can save this thing as a resource and call it walking AI, and it makes a little thing that walks around for. Well, you make the code, but it puts the code into whatever you put it into. It's basically a box you put your code into. And you can have as many of those copies of that box as you want, and they'll all share the same little box amongst their storage. Uh, but I guess you don't really need to know that much about resources for this topic, so I won't go into it in too much detail. I'm not very good at understanding it myself yet, but maybe one day I'll do a video on that if anyone's interested. But what I'm saying is, I was just rewriting the same code over and over and over and over, and it sucked. It sucked so badly. It was awful. I knew something was wrong, and let me tell you, if something seems repetitive, kind of stupid, and like there's gotta be a better way to do it, there probably is. And that is a lesson that is very, very hard to get through to me. I understand this. I'm going to relearn this lesson many times in my life, I have realized. But hopefully, I'll get a little less stubborn every time. And I'm going to try to be less stubborn this time as well. So, if you notice an improvement in my art going forwards, you'll know why. Because I'm going to try to use the pen that works better. Wish me luck. I'm going to be stubborn about it. guess maybe I'm not going to be stubborn about it because I'm going to try to use it even though I don't want to. Don't be stubborn. Just use the better thing. Though, also, do keep in mind if you find that in your attempts to use the new thing, you find that you're not actually doing anything because you don't want to do the thing because the new thing is so miserable and annoying, maybe just go back to your normal. It's better to make progress than to improve a system that you're not able to get out of because you were able to do that comfortably. I don't know what I mean is your safety, your safe zone, your little box that you explore in and out of as a creator. It sometimes needs to be stepped out of a little, but you also don't need to go sprinting out of it at high speeds because if you sprint out of it too far, you might crash into a wall and explode. So, try to find a nice middle ground. Don't burn yourself out. Don't stress yourself out panicking because you think this is the only way. There's no right or wrong way to do anything. And if you're not having fun or at least, you know, getting something positive out of it, you probably are going too far. Don't stress yourself out. Just do the thing that works best for you. And just try to be more conscious of when something is best for you and when something is a change that you just don't want to make. Because that's kind of what I'm struggling with deciding on here. Is this a change I need to make to improve my art? Very likely. Is this also a pin I don't like messing with yet? Also, yes. Hopefully, I'll get over this. I guess you guys will see. And thanks for watching. This was one of my first rambles, so I hope you guys liked it. It was unscripted, and I am not recording this again. So, thank you for tolerating my ramble. And like, comment, and subscribe if you want to hear me ramble more. Or if you don't want to hear me ramble more. I usually don't add audio to these videos. But who knows? Maybe folks will like them. Bye bye!